What's going on, guys? Capine here and welcome back. And in this video I'll be featuring a 10-game win streak with what I consider to be the best safe swap in the Sunshine Cup, that being Dubwool. Dubwool in the safe swap is very good at getting shields, and if your opponent allows you to get even a little bit of an energy lead, that double kick and body slam spam will be sure to punish them. I am running payback on my Dubwool, as in the safe swap position you'll want payback for coverage just in case a Trevenant gets counter swapped into it. But if you're running it on the lead, having Wild Charge for the knockdowns and then being able to reset that debuff will be very useful. But again, since I am running it as a switch, payback will be your better option here. This team works in an ABB style where if you don't see a counter user or a Pokemon strong against fighting in the lead, you'll eventually want to switch into your Dubwool, lure out the fighter, of which your knockdown will finish off, and then have Vigoroth clean up the game. And with that, let's get right into the battles. Alright, getting to the first battle, we lead Knockdown into Piloswine. Terrible lead, we're going to instantly swap into our Dubwool, and our opponent counters that with a counter Donphan. So that's exactly what we wanted Dubwool to do, lure out the opposing counter user on the other team. Now we are going to be able to start spamming off these body slams against the opposing Donphan. And here I'm going to no shield this. I know I'll just be able to barely hang on against the opposing Donphan. So just like that, we're not going to be able to get switch, but we do get shield advantage. And that is fantastic because now we can bring in our knockdown here and wing attack all the way down, having to only take one body slam in return, which you'll see coming through right here. Knockdown, able to take that no problem, able to almost swing attack down, but my opponent gives up switch, and that is huge because now with a shield advantage, Vigoroth is going to go absolutely off against this team. I will throw my body slam right away just in case they do go for the rock tomb and debuff my attack, but they don't. They full send the overheat, which is going to allow me to just barely counter down all the way. And now my opponent is in a lot of trouble as my Vigoroth is absolutely loaded on energy. Make a cheeky play, trying to expect me to throw right away, but I'm patient. I overfarm just by one. And now I'm going to be able to hard punch this Piloswine, as I can easily shield this Avalanche, get to the back-to-back body slams, and take out the opposing Piloswine. First body slam coming through. And my opponent just lets it go as they know the game is over at that point. GG's to them. Next battle, we lead Knockdown into Miltank. I do have two better responses in the back to this, so I'm going to immediately swap into my Dubwool, and we are able to lure out the Vigoroth. Now, a Vigoroth counter swap is kind of a little tricky, as if you do have a high-ranked Dubwool, you can actually win the ones if you're able to land a payback. I don't have a high ranked one, so I'm going straight body slam right here. And it is actually IV dependent on both the Dubwool and the Vigoroth as to who wins the one shield in that situation. But here, it looks like I should just barely be able to tank this body slam from the Vig, get off mine, and be able to take the one shield in this scenario. So down goes the Vig. See what my opponent wants to come back in with. And it is their Miltank. They're able to get two additional rollouts on the farm down there, but I have a good matchup here with my Vigoroth onto their Miltank, and there should be no problem at all. They go for a body slam. Now they swap into Blaziken, and this is actually kind of interesting because they did have a counter head start. They are actually able to win the one shield here, as they do take shield at that sky attack and get to the back-to-back blaze kicks. Now here I do decide to shield up that first blaze kick because I want that extra wing attack damage to register. If that doesn't register, my Vigoroth is going to take a ton of damage from those shadow counters. So here I'm going to be throwing off this body slam. It's going to bring the Miltank low, and now it's going to come down to, are they at the body slam or the Thunderbolt or Ice Beam? It was only a body slam, so we're just able to hang on, and we get to our next move, and that's a GG's. Next game, we lead Knockdown into Abomasnow. We have two good answers for this, so we're going to save swap into our Dubwool, and my opponent meets it with Talonflame. Now with Talonflame, your opponent doesn't know you're running payback instead of Wild Charge, so be sure to always build up to potentially bait that move. Here my opponent's most likely going for a Flame Charge. If they go for a Brave Bird, so be it. My Noctowl will get a lot of farm, and plus, since flying moves are still super effective against the Abomasnow, energy is okay. But they do go for the Flame Charge instead, which gives me a play to make for switch here, as I can go for this Body Slam, get their first shield, and now I can go for the payback to guarantee their last shield or switch, which it gets their last shield, and that is fine because now I can come in with Noctowl and start farming. If they do go for the Brave Bird, I can farm all the way down. If they go for a Flame Charge, I will unfortunately have to throw a Sky Attack before. They do bait with a Flame Charge, so that's a nice bait for them. So I'm going to throw right before they get to their next Flame Charge, take out this Talonflame, and now I'm going to swap into my Vigoroth as soon as their Abomasnow comes in, and it's a Shadow Alolan Marowak in the back. And this is going to be close because it has access to Bone Club and Shadow Bone. So they're going to have to go straight for Bone Club, but Bone Club's a pretty poor move. And that Bulldoze hits hard to a Shadow, but my opponent overfarms too much, knowing that they have to get to multiple moves against my Vig. And now this game goes from me being in a very good spot to in a fantastic spot. As in addition, the Abomasnow overfarms as well. To be fair, even if the Abomasnow threw on CMP tie to take out my Vig, my Noctowl would be able to survive a Weather Ball and get to a Sky Attack in time. But either way, we're in a very good position as this Weather Ball will come through. Noctowl was able to hang on and farm all the way down. GG's to my opponent. Next battle, we lead Noctowl into Abomasnow. So just like last time, I'm going to safe swap into our double, but this time we're met by a Noctowl. So we do load up to that Wild Charge, go for the Body Slam, which my opponent rightfully calls there, as they would be able to live a Wild Charge from that range. But now opponent's no longer able to live a Wild Charge, so we throw one more double kick for good timing and go for another Body Slam, of which does end up getting the shield from my opponent. And that is very big because now we're in a good position to, again, try and flip switch here. So one more double kick for good timing. This will bring the Noctowl very low. They know it's only a Body Slam, so they can let it go. But the good news, since I'm throwing on good timing, I get to this next Body Slam on the CMP tie to either get the opponent's final shield or switch. My opponent gives me switch, and that is fantastic. But Dubwool's not done yet. It gets to even another Body Slam. Dubwool putting in so much work in that safe swap position. So now we get to come in here with our Vigoroth. Our opponent has a Shadow Swampert in the back. And Shadow Swampert, as opposed to regular, Shadow Swampert can take out a Noctowl with 2 Hydro Cannons. Regular Swampert cannot. So because it's a Shadow, I'm going to fire off the Sky Attack, get their final shield, but then save my final shield for my Vigoroth so it can load up on energy. So I'm going to let this Hydro Cannon go, and then just start loading up on energy on the Vigoroth. I will shield the first right here, as Hydro Cannon is the hardest hitting move left in the game, and I will throw this Body Slam right before they get to their next Hydro Cannon. This takes out the Swampert, and now I should be able to survive any move that the Abomasnow throws and get to this Body Slam. It ends up just being a Weather Ball, which we hang on to and get to this next Body Slam to finish off the game. GG's to my opponent. Alright, next battle. We lead Noctowl into Vigoroth. Now, the Noctowl versus Vigoroth matchup is one that Noctowl wins in the zeros, but loses in the 1s and 2s. So just something to think about if they decide to stay in that matchup. But here my opponent safe swaps a G-Fisk, and I actually do commit a shield to that Earthquake, because I know that an Earthquake is going to hit my Vigoroth really hard, but keeping my Vigoroth healthy is going to be very nice, because when they bring in their own Vigoroth, I'm going to be able to start spamming off these Body Slams and get additional counter damage off on their Vigoroth to do a absolute ton of damage. So you'll see here, one Body Slam plus those counters brings them deep into the yellow, and we get off our next Body Slam to bring their Vigoroth into the red. Not even into the red, just straight up takes it out. And now a 2-shield Abomasnow versus 1-shield Dubwool, and we have this game in the bag. I let them throw first to kind of reset our desync movesets, or fast moves, so then I could throw on good timing here. First Body Slam gets their shield. This is another Weather Ball. We can live it, so I will let it go. Throw off this next Body Slam, which gets their final shield. Abomasnow gets a little bit of a Powder Snow down, but that is perfectly fine because my Noctowl has a little bit of residual energy. And since this is a non-Shadow Abomasnow, we can tank 2 Weather Balls. But in this situation, we only needed to take 1, and we're able to get to the Sky Attack and take out the Abomasnow. GG's to my opponent. And that should be a 5-0 for that set. And right into the next one, we lead Noctowl into Shadow Nidoqueen. This one, I'm going to stay in and play out the zeros with my Noctowl. Since they do have a Pokemon strong against fighting in the lead, I'm not expecting them to really have something else strong against fighting in the back. So like I said, I will stay in and play out the zeros. Sky Attack does land. And the Shadow Nidoqueen will be able to take this one right here with this Poison Fang. But that just sets up my Vigoroth to be able to get a hefty counter down. Able to leave with a Body Slam, see what my opponent wants to bring in. And they bring in a Shadow Vic. Quite an interesting team here. But unfortunately for the Shadow Vic, it's going to be met with a lot of Body Slams. And they're going to have to give up both shields or essentially sacrifice their victory belt. They don't, they let the next one go, and I'm going to bring in my Dubwool and go for a double kick down. Unfortunately, don't get it in time. I will shield here to respect the Leaf Blade. They do bait with the Acid Spray, and now they bring in a Shadow Swampert. I throw 3 double kicks for good timing. Get some nice chip damage onto the Swampert. And here, I will give up my final shield because I know I will be able to get off this next Body Slam. And they're not quite at their next Hydro yet, so I'll be able to get a 3rd Body Slam off against the Swampert, which will then take it out and secure the match for me, as I can now swap into my Vigoroth to clear out that debuff and counter down the rest of that Shadow Vic. GG's. Next battle, we lead Noctowl into Gliscor. Pretty neutral matchup as they are able to spam off those Night Slashes while we can throw Sky Attacks in return. First Night Slash coming through. I let it go just in case they get the boost. Plus, it's not threatening to be lethal to us at all. My opponent makes a nice call on the Sky Attack right here. If I landed the Shadow Ball, I could potentially Wing Attack all the way down. But if I get the Shadow Ball shielded, I'm in a worse spot than them shielding the Sky Attack. So it's all a little bit of a game right there, but we are still in a decent spot as we do take the zeros. They come in with a Vig, and we are able to just barely make it to the Sky Attack. So we are now going to save swap into our Dubwool, as even though the Vig has a little bit of an energy advantage, they are at a health disparity. And after these double kicks, they should just about be in Body Slam range. So Dubwool will be sending a Body Slam the Vig's way. Does get their first shield. So I will shield this in return because I will outpace to my next move. And I throw in bad timing here because I'm not expecting them to shield. I want to be able to maximize my energy against that Vigoroth to potentially make it to another move against whatever else comes in, which I do because it's a Shadow Swampert. Don't recommend throwing on bad timing, but in that situation it was advantageous because I made a call that they weren't going to shield and they didn't. So it ended up being the right choice in that scenario. If they do shield, then obviously that was a bad call. But here my opponent concedes the match as they know that is over since they full sent the Earthquake as their win condition. Next matchup, Noctowl into Ferrothorn. Noctowl into Ferrothorn isn't that bad of a matchup as we do hit for neutral with the Wing Attacks and Sky Attacks. They do hit super effective with the Thunder, but it's a non-stab Thunder, so Noctowl can easily survive it. But I safe swap into my double here because I do have 2 better answers in the back. Plus, I want to potentially lure out their fighter. Here, I'm going to throw off this next body slam right away, as I don't want to overfarm anymore to potentially allow them to get a body slam onto my double before I can get my next move. Now I'm going to bring in my Noctowl. I will have to eat 2 body slams here, which is no issue at all. My Noctowl is not in any danger of being farmed down from that Ferrothorn. I'm going to throw this next Sky Attack right before they get to their next body slam. Down goes the Vig. I'm going to throw this next Sky Attack right away as soon as I get it, but on good timing, of course. I'm going to swap right back into my Vig. I will commit a shield here, as I do have 2 shields and I need to start shielding something. They go for the Power Whip, and that is perfectly fine. And now remember what I said earlier in the video. Noctowl beats Vigoroth in the 0s. Vigoroth beats Noctowl in the 1s and 2s. So I'm in a very good position here, especially because I got a couple counters head start. They do let that second body slam go. So I will let this first Sky Attack go, and then I'm going to commit to a counter down. That Ferrothorn is almost within body slam range, and I am not in any danger of being bullet seeded down. So I'm going to commit to the counter down, just barely get it. Throw 1 more body slam for good timing, and I am at the double, so this game should just be about over. And my opponent lets that body slam go, as they know they would have to live 1 regardless. And that's a GG's. Next battle, we lead Noctowl into Pidgeot. Another neutral lead, and it's always an interesting bait game with a Pidgeot lead. Are they going to go for the Feather Dance? Are they going to go for the Brave Bird? Nobody really ever knows. So I'm going to throw off the Sky Attack as soon as I get it, just in case they do go for the Feather Dance. I want to be able to apply as much damage as I can. And they end up going straight for the Brave Bird. So I'm going to match their safe swap with my safe swap, and it ends up being a Vig. And unfortunately, I did get the 1-turn bring in there, and they got the 0-turn swap. So me throwing my body slam ended up being on alignment. Kind of unfortunate, but it is all right because I do reach this next body slam regardless. And that actually ends up taking out the Vigoroth, and that is huge because, as you'll see, double ain't done. Double get into another body slam, just applying so much pressure to the opposing team in these matches. Now I do bring my Noctowl, and there is a ton of lag here, and it seems as though my opponent has lagged out a little bit. But if they go for the Brave Bird, that just ends up, I don't plan on shielding my Noctowl here. If they went for the Brave Bird, that just gives my Vig more farm. And if they go for the Feather Dance, there's a chance that my Noctowl then reaches another Sky Attack. And either way, Vigoroth up 2 shields to 1 against the Victini. Vigoroth does take that. So either way, it was looking to be a positive situation for us. The lag's very unfortunate, but it's a GG's either way. Next battle, we're leading into a double. I'm gonna farm up to 7. The reason Wild Charge is 6 double kicks, and is 4 double kicks, which would be 6 wing attacks, and I'm expecting my opponent to farm up extra as they want to throw on good timing. So I'm gonna throw right away on 7. Then I throw 1 more wing attack, and then safe swap into my double so I can maximize that double kick sneak, as well as catch the move onto my Noctowl, onto my double, if it does happen to be the Wild Charge. I know, a little bit confusing right there, but go back and listen to that again. Hopefully it will make more sense. But they do bring in their Vigoroth to meet my double, take it out. I come back in with my Noctowl. They'll throw off a body slam. I'm gonna respawn with a Sky Attack of my own. That does end up getting their first shield. This next body slam will take out my Noctowl, so I will respect it with the shield. Return fire with the Sky Attack of my own. That does take out the Vig, and I'm going to instantly swap into my own Vig, and it ends up being a Macargo in the back. So again, we're in a very good position here. So like last time, I do throw this Body Slam first, just in case they go for the Rock Tomb to lower my attack. I want to get off as much damage as possible. Now my opponent is still one Incinerate away from their next move, of which 3 counters should be able to take them out in time before they get there. Which we do. GG's to my opponent. And that should be the end of our 10-game win streak, as well as the end of the video. Now, normal types are just extremely strong in the Sunshine Cup, and as you can see, Dubwool is no exception to that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate you. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.